Just a quick channel update for you guys before we kick off today's episode of the Bedrock Guide Season 2. Recently, I learned that our friends over at Cubed Host were going to be shutting down the business for good. It was a very, very sad announcement. They are amazing people. I was happy to have crossed paths with them for a little while, and they've been so generous to have supported our Patreon server, along with so many other content creators through the partnership program. So huge shout out and thank you to the guys at Cubed Host. You will be greatly missed. Hope to see you around the comment sections. Hope to see you around Twitter, Discord, all of the places. But we have found a brand new home as well with Nodecraft. I have a link in the description. Looking forward to starting a brand new partnership with those guys. They came highly recommended by Cubed Host. And if you're looking for a place to play, be sure to join up with my Patreon. Or if you'd like to start your own server, be sure to use the creator code given in the description below as well for the best deal. Once again, really excited to be on board with Nodecraft. Thank you so much for helping us out with a brand new partnership. I'm looking forward to getting to know you lovely people. But that's it for now. On to the video. Oh boy, we've got a good episode in store for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the Composter, one of the blocks in the game that I've not done a whole lot with outside of some villager trading and maybe an automatic villager crop farm. But there is so much more to the Composter than that, and we're going to be diving in deep. Hopefully you learned something new. We talked about farming in the previous episode, everything from crops to livestock, and we learned quite a bit. And you guys actually reminded me of something in the comment section. Several of you pointed out that the pigs, they can also eat beetroot. So, potatoes, carrots, beetroot, they'll eat it all. And I believe the chickens will eat beetroot seeds, but we'll confirm that later. We'll go get some beetroot from one of the nearby villages. But we'll head on over to that village here in just a few minutes. We're going to get on to talking about the Composter. One of the reasons that you might want a Composter is that it is a good source of bone meal. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you don't know what bone meal is, these are bones. We acquired them off of a skeleton that we took down during the night. If you place bone meal in the crafting table, you can also do that right here just in your inventory. It only requires one slot. We can get 3 bone meal for every bone, so there's a 6 bone meal. And if we take that bone meal over here, we can find a crop that's nearly grown and be like, boom, now you're fully grown. Or we can go one that's barely grown and we can go boom, 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 and grow it up and make our farming process a whole lot quicker than just standing here watching it grow on its own. Now we're out of bone meal. What do we do now? There are a few different ways in Minecraft to acquire bone meal, and we're going to talk about the Composter today. So let's first talk about how to craft a Composter, because we have the resources to do that. If you take some wooden planks and spread them 3 wide across any row, it doesn't matter where you place them in the crafting table, as long as they are 3 across like that, we can get slabs. Slabs are great. They're useful in many builds, but they are useful in creating a Composter. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a U shape just like that, and we have our first job site block. I wasn't going to do any footage between here and the village because I'm heading over there now, but you have no idea how close I was to falling in there. Let's get out of here. Composters can also be found naturally in villages, and in order to pick up a Composter, you can use any tool. You can use your fist, you can use a pickaxe, you could use a shovel, but because this is made out of wood, the best tool to use for the job is any variety of axe, and it'll chop it up real quick for you, and you can pick it up and you take it with you. And this guy certainly won't get mad because he's a nitwit. He doesn't get a job, but anybody else that's not a nitwit in this village, if they're a regular villager, if you place a job site block down and they are unassigned a job at that point, they might sync up with it and become a farmer. A little sneak preview on the topic of villagers for you, which we're not going to cover today, but there you go. One thing we didn't grab in our previous trip was beetroot, so we'll get some beetroot and beetroot seeds, and like good friends of the villagers, we'll go ahead and replant their stuff so we're not leaving them without food. Oh, emeralds. Mine. Also mine. Also mine. Also mine. Thank you. Hey,
you better not tell anybody about this.
I'm very shocked that only one of you, at least I think only one of you, in the comments pointed out to me that I skipped the bed in the village on the first night. I can't believe I forgot that, but I also can't believe that most of you didn't even point it out to me. I thought we were friends. Can we just take a minute to appreciate this? Mojang, fantastic work. Those mountains, man, they're beautiful. Okay, I know we already did the farming episode and the food episode, but berries. We found berries in a spruce forest on our way back. These are great. We're not going to talk about these right now, but maybe we'll cover them another time. Again, one of those things that I've not really messed around with, like the composter, but we're going to learn it together. That's the amazing thing about Minecraft, is the game is so vast. There are so many features, so many different things. There's always something new to learn. Okay, really quick, can confirm beetroot seeds and beetroot. So, I correct what I said in the previous video. Chickens, as well as pigs, are able to accept a couple of types of different food, as opposed to cows and sheep. They're boring. They only eat wheat. I've got a few chests sitting on this hill here, and they are all marked by a percentage. Inside of our first chest here that's marked 30%, we've got a few different items. We've got some seeds, and we have 2 different kinds of saplings. Let me just clarify that these are not the only items in this list. These are the items that we have general access to right now. The 30% on the sign there is the chance that we have to get 1 layer of compost every time we place an item in the composter. So if we place 1 seed, boom, we've got our first layer of compost. You can see it down there. It kind of looks like podzol. We'll do it again, and we've got another layer. You can see that it just went up slightly. We got the green sparkles as well, but we got green sparkles that time too, and that's part of the 30% chance. Sometimes you're not going to get a layer. We're going to keep doing this. There's a 3rd layer. There's a 4th layer. There's a 5th layer. And man, we're burning through seeds. And can we get a 6th layer? No? Maybe? Hello? I'm telling you, you're going to burn through a lot of resources if you don't use the right thing. Okay, there's our 7th layer, and now it is ready to collect. So, this is completely full. You see the white on the top there? If we right-click one more time or press the use button, it will pop out some bone meal. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, seed. Hey, we've got 1 bone meal. That's not a very good return on our investment. 1 bone meal for, what was that, 31 seeds or something? In the next chest, we have items that have a 50% chance, and we've got sugarcane. So about 1 out of every 2, we should get a new layer. Let's give it a try. Let's experiment. Let's test it out. There's 1 layer. There's no layer. No. Okay, there's another layer. 3, 4, come on. 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 7, and boom, we've got our bone meal. That's a little bit better, but still not a fantastic return on our investment. Next up, 65%. We have the things that we've been working so hard to get. We've got carrots, potatoes, wheat, then we got some apples, and we got some flowers. We're going to save this for last here in this, because this might be our best option in the early game. We'll experiment. Hold on. Carrots. Okay, so that only took us about 8 carrots as opposed to almost 15 sugarcane, or maybe the entire 15 sugarcane, and 31 seeds. So we're getting a little bit better on our return of investment. Let's check out potatoes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. 8 potatoes. We'll right click and use the composter. 8 potatoes, and we've got a bone meal. And then we can use wheat. And it's going to be probably about the same. I've got 4 wheat there. Let's grab a little bit more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. That was 9 wheat in order to get 1 bone meal. Pretty consistent across the board about how many items it uses at the 65% level. That's honestly not bad. I think we can do a little bit better. Let's hang on to flowers for just a second, because I do want to experiment, but I want to show you these last couple before we do anything else. We've got 85% with bread and baked potatoes. Baked potatoes are a better option because we can at least take our potatoes, cook them on a campfire, and not be wasting fuel. Bread is very expensive to craft. So 85%. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We didn't have a 7th piece of bread, so we'll use a baked potato. And there you go. That's not bad. That's not bad. We only used 7 items to get that, so let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's looking like almost 100% chance. 85% chance. Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're doing pretty good. The last one that I want to show you in 100% is pumpkin pie, and cake also works as well because there's so much junk in these things. You may as well just throw them in a composter and get, sludge out of them. You're gonna rot your teeth out with this stuff. Just throw it away. As I sip on my Dr. Pepper, 100% chance of composting a pumpkin pie. Here's where I want to experiment a little bit. We're just gonna find a decent space to plant some flowers. You know what? Let's do it right here. Seems like a good spot. We're just going to dig one block of grass and leave a hole in the ground just like that. And then we're going to plant one flower directly in that hole. If you try to plant the flower up here, you're honestly not going to get very many flowers back. I don't know why this works this way, but it shoots out a ton of flowers. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bone meal. Look at all those flowers. That's huge from one bone meal. And then we're going to go again. Boom! More flowers. So many flowers. Now, here's what I want to experiment with to make sure that this is the most viable option for early game bone meal farming. We started out with 7 bone meal and 1 flour. I want to see how many bone meal and how many flowers we have after we finish going through and getting all of our bone meal. All right, I want to see how many we can get back up to. If we can get back up to 7 and have excess flowers left over, I think we're doing pretty good. Because honestly, in 7 bone meal and 1 flour, we're already up to a full stack of flowers. I really do think that this is going to be the most efficient way of getting bone meal early game. Because if you go over here and you start spamming bone meal on these things, it takes 2 or 3, if it's not already mostly grown, to grow 1 plant, which maybe you'll get 2 or 3 carrots, maybe you'll get 2 or 3 potatoes, you'll get like 1 wheat unless you got enchantments. So yeah, I really don't know. I just kind of want to experiment to see if flowers might be a good option to provide some bone meal early game. Just under a stack and a half of flowers left. We're going to see how much bone meal we can get, but we're going to break that composter first because it did have compost already in it, and we want this to be a true experiment. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Please, let's get some layers going. There we go. Now we've got 1 bone meal, and let's see if we can get lucky. Oh yeah, that was a good run. We've got 2 bone meal. We've got 3 bone meal. 4 and 5, and we've got 6, and we're back up to 7 with 25 flowers left over. So it seems like maybe this is a good way to start out our bone meal farm. But is it sustainable? Is it worth the effort? No. Our crops are growing at a relatively decent rate, and we've got enough food for now, but sugarcane is slow growing, and so our goal is to save up as much bone meal as possible to use on our sugarcane that we're going to need for some things relatively soon. After we've burned through all of our flowers, we now have 9 bone meal, and I'm going to repeat this process, and we're going to see how much we can get in just a few minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is actually a pretty slow process. I've spent a few minutes bone mealing flowers and then composting them, and what do I have to show for it? 16 bone meal. But things are about to accelerate because we let all of this grow, and we got a full harvest of crops, and I am actually cooking up a bunch of baked potatoes right now. And we're going to start throwing these into the mix little by little to increase our profits. So there we go. Look at that. Perfect. If you can get enough flowers to get your bone meal supply up and running, and you can wait for your potatoes to grow, potatoes are probably going to be your best bet for getting the most amount of bone meal. It's going to be a pretty slow process early game. You're not going to get a lot of bang for your buck. I am going to be doing some really cool stuff with composters later in the season, probably within the next couple of weeks. So this is definitely information you're going to want to know before we dive into that. In between episodes, I gained enough leather to craft an entire full set of leather armor, which we're going to go ahead and do now. Wow, I look weird. I don't think in my entire time playing Minecraft, I've ever made a leather set of armor for myself. But I wanted to go down into the caves again, not to do any kind of caving today on camera, but to get a little bit more iron, because there's one more thing I want to do with the composter just to show it to you before we end out the episode for today. So I'm going to get a little bit of coal, and I'm going to get a little bit of iron, and I'll be right back. And we've got 10 iron that we found in the mines. We're going to take a chest and put it right there in the middle of the crafting table, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will create what is called a hopper. We're actually going to need 2 of those today, so we'll craft up 1 more, and then I'm going to need 2 more chests, so we'll go ahead and craft 2 more of those, and then we'll find a good spot to put our composter one more time. I'm thinking over here, off to the side of our farms, we're going to dig a 1 block hole in the ground right here, and then we'll place a chest right there, and then we'll dig 1 more block right behind it, and we will crouch, take one of our hoppers, and we'll face it into the back of that chest. It's kind of hard to see, so we'll dig down here a little bit. You can see that there's a little bit of a nozzle right there on the end of the hopper. That is directional. Because we faced it into the back of the chest, it's facing forward. If we were to go like this and place it downward, you can see that the nozzle on the hopper faces downward. On top of this hopper right here, we're going to place our composter, and then we'll place 1 more hopper while while crouching on top of that composter, and we will place one chest on top of that. I've mentioned a couple of times that it's important to crouch while placing a few of these different things. I want to go ahead and show you what happens if you don't crouch. If we try to place this right on top of this hopper and we don't crouch, it's just going to open up the inventory for the item hopper. Crouching allows you to place items on top of containers like hoppers, or even something like a crafting table. It opens up a crafting interface if you right click on it, but if we want to place a chest on top of this, we can crouch, and bada bing, bada boom, we got a chest on top of our crafting table. So crouching is a neat little mechanic that allows you to place things on containers and interactive type blocks, things like that. This is the most basic early game automatic farm you can make with something like this. It doesn't require any redstone, it doesn't require any like comparators or anything. It's just a couple of chests, a couple of hoppers, and a composter. The nice thing about composters is this hopper right here will take items from this chest, it will pull them down, and then it will drop them automatically into our composter, and it will start doing the same thing we were doing manually by right-clicking and placing things in there. It still has the same percentage chance to get a layer of compost, but we don't have to do anything with it. We just drop it all in the chest and we wait for it to go. Once it does reach the maximum amount of compost, it will automatically deposit a bone meal into the hopper below, and because it's facing forward, it will automatically get pushed into that chest. I've got 28 baked potatoes, and we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're just going to drop them in here, and you can see it is automatically filling up our composter, and boom, we've got bone meal. The last thing that I want to do today is go over here and not get blown up by that guy. Please don't blow up. No, stop it. No. What? Ow. Oh boy. Oh boy. Half a heart, that's the closest I've gotten to dying so far. Oh, that's fixed, right? Moving on. We're going over here into the water. I've got one special thing that I'm looking for today to close out the episode, and hopefully he won't be too hard to find. We are not looking for that guy. The drowned? No, sir. No, thank you. Hey, there they are off in the distance. That is a squid. I am drowning. Make sure not to let your air bubbles go out when you're swimming. Squid, if you take your handy dandy axe and you give them a nice little tap on the head, boom! They're gonna throw some ink at you and try to run away, but you can catch them. They're pretty slow, and you hit them a couple of times, and there we go. That is what we are looking for right there. That is an ink sac. We're gonna drown again. We're gonna go over here because I can't seem to stop having close calls today. We need a few supplies for what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna go in here and grab a feather, and we're gonna grab some leather. I've got sugarcane here, and we're gonna put it 3 wide across the bottom like that, and we'll just craft up some paper. 6 pieces. We don't really need all that much, but now we can craft a book. You take 1 leather and 3 pieces of paper, and bada bing, bada boom, we got a book. But that's not all. If you take your book and your feather and an ink sac, we've got a book and quill. Something I failed miserably at in Season 1. We're going to try to do a whole lot better about. Let's read some of your comments and questions today. From J Wyndham 101, you guys should definitely consider bringing back Resource Roulette. Just brings another cool component to the game. I love this comment for a few reasons. One being, you guys really enjoyed a unique thing that Prowl and I did together. If you're new to the channel, Resource Roulette was a game that Prowl and I played in Season 1 together during Bedrock Guide videos, where basically we would draw numbers to see who would have to go get resources for the other person. It was a fun little way to keep interactions up, and it fell by the wayside after a little while. But I love this comment also because you guys just want to see interactions between Prowl and I. It's always a fan favorite when Prowl and I are doing shenanigans together, and we all get a good laugh. As to whether or not we're going to be doing Resource Roulette during this season, it is undecided at this point. I know that we do want to have some collaborations together, and we're going to make every effort to make that happen. Just not sure what that's going to look like yet, but rest assured that's on our minds. We've got some things in the works for down the road. You can catch us on each of our streams, and once in a while we'll pop in each other's streams and hang out and things like that. So plenty of opportunity for interactions and shenanigans. Make sure to leave your comments in the comment section or your questions, and I will hopefully answer yours in the next video. But that's gonna do it for today. I hope you learned something new about the Composter. Thanks for watching, thanks for the huge support, and once again, just want to let you know that you're amazing. We'll see ya!